Hello there, this is Smith Welding and Restoration. I am your host, Adam Niffen. Stick around, see what's in the garage this week.
Okay, so I'm going to get off my chest. This is not a Virgin motor, okay? And I know this because the one thing that annoys the fuck out of me, these two bolt holes had that rundown in it. Not even a graded bolt. Not that it matters, but and that rundown in it. That kind of monkey fuck bullshit just drives me nuts. I don't, you don't have to go with ARP fasteners or anything, but at least have the fucking common decency. Alright, so enough of that. This is what I want to hit you folks with. This is an intake. In the book, there's a specific sequence to tighten the intake down, okay? You go in the reverse order what the book says. Rule of thumb, on anything like this, it's a gasketed surface that can flex. Your valve covers, these are easy, it's 4 points, Chevy small block, duh. Oil pan, your timing cover, you don't start here and go. And when you remove stuff, you don't want to do that either. What I did was I loosened this one and this one, and I went around in a spiral to that one, 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 and I worked my way around in a spiral to the middle. When you tighten this down, you start in the middle and do a spiral outward, and what that does is makes that flex out, lay down, and squeeze the gasket down without any incident, and keeps it from warping the intake. Now, like I said, I'm approaching this like you ain't never seen it before, you've never done it before, okay? You always approach these. Anything you take off, it's not necessary, and I know a lot of guys don't, but I do. I take off in reverse order so as to not warp anything. We're not reusing this intake, and I could point of fact, I could actually file this intake down myself and make it a reasonable, suitable platform to go from. This is a friend of mine. This is like the let me see. This is the last throwback of a life I once had and no longer want. Alright, this project. I've had the custody of Jay Rickenbacher's truck for many a year. I had it at my old shop, commissioned to do some work, and now we're actually getting into restoration processes. I've had this engine, and he's pissed, with good reason. He hasn't come at me about it, but he's asked the questions. So here I am. I'm getting caught up on all the stuff that I've said I'd get done, and haven't been able to get done. I'm getting it done now. I've not been commissioning new work. It's not like I'm not out actively seeking new work right now because I got stuff to get completed that people have given me money towards and everything else. The RV that left and this were the last vestiges of the life I had prior. Okay. This truck and the RV I sent off were the last things of an old life that I laid to rest, laid dead. This truck belongs to a good friend of mine, a good friend of, can you believe it, Jay? It's been almost 11 years ago. This August, it'll be 11 years that I met you. Taking a break. Kind of my story is, it's dark out, I'm working late. The girl went to bed because she's got to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to go into work. They have her working some weird schedule. Whatever. I don't need to be rumbling around the house, making noise, pissing her off. It just ain't nice. I come out to see what Jeremy was up to because he brought his toolbox over, crummy little Come a little task force box, guys. I got to get him into something else. I'm working on it. Working on it. That's one thing I'll happily foot the bill for, is going in on a nice box for him. I'm not talking $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 box. I mean a few $100 and get a decent roller. Anyhow, vestiges of past lives. That's where I was at before I distracted myself. And I think that's one of the biggest hang-ups on this motor is, in this truck, this project itself, is when that project came into my life years ago, my life was a shithole. Everything could go wrong, for the most part was. I was a terrible drunk. And probably some worse things. No drugs, never got in it, and never interested in that. But I have cleared my headspace up and got organized in a fashion that things are moving in and out like they're supposed to. Now I'm making good on promises, words, and otherwise. It takes time, and I'm still behind on everything long term that's in the shop. This is a step in that direction, though. Like I said before, I'm too dumb to say die. I'm too dumb to quit. And yeah, I really do mean dumb to quit. I'm not ignorant of the fact that I should quit. Say I can't do it, whatever. But I'm not a prideful person. I'm not driven by ego. But there's something inside of me that I just can't say quit. If I put my word out there, assure it's going to get done and done right, it gets done and it gets done right. All man has is his word. Money, credit, cars, women, cash, whatever, it comes and goes. All you have left is character. So we're violating a 44-year-old engine tonight. It's been opened up before. Having been opened up, I'm really hopeful I'm going to find a nice clean bearing inside of there. That gutter down in the heads where the oil pools was really clean. It looked really good. Dare I say it, if I can get far enough tonight, I may be going up and getting, I got a repainted competition orange. I may be going up and getting that tomorrow, if all goes well. I pray we find good bearings in it. It's been on the to-do list for too long, and I need to make right with Jay. And Jay, if I don't talk to you before this airs, shit happens in everybody's lives, and you've been through a ton yourself. I know that, and I know I haven't been the greatest of friends out there. At this point, I'm just doing what I can and what I gotta to get everything done, and make sure everything gets paid. I hate having to prioritize sometimes. You have to make the best, worst decision that you have available. But we're getting there, and I want to get with you soon. Start moving to the next phases of this beauty project. This thing's an amazing truck, guys. So, smoke break's over. I'm gonna put you up on a stand. I'm gonna pop that intake off. Alright, let's see if it'll lift off or if I gotta knock it around a little bit. Lift it right off. Galley's super clean, guys. I got a set of high pro intake gaskets I think I'm going to put on this for Jay. I got the gasket kit. I got a full build kit for this engine. Now, we're doing what we can to not remove the heads. That's the idea on this one. I'm not saying we won't, or that I'm afraid to. We're just trying to keep it a nice low cost budget, freshen up. As long as the cam does what it's supposed to. And the bearings look good. I'd be worried about knocking all this shit down in here if I was just doing an intake gasket or an intake swap. When I do like an intake swap, I lay rags down in here and plug up all these holes. And then I'll vacuum it out when I'm done before I pull the rags up. Bear with me, you guys have done this before. There's guys out there that are far better at this than I am. I'm adequate at this engine building stuff, okay? Adequate. Just. Man, I'm really satisfied to see what I'm seeing in here. It's not a sludge buildup or anything, so it wouldn't shock me to flip this over and find it be a 355. What we're going to do, once I get all this cleaned down and ready to go, what we'll do is we'll hit this surface and these surfaces with a Roll-Lock Scotch-Brite and clean up all those surfaces. I'm not going to port anything or do anything fancy like that. It could use it, it doesn't need it. I'm going to pull some accessories off the front and then we're going to get this rolled over. I'll come back.